Hello. And welcome back to the reading recap. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new, I'm Zoe, and while this channel is just Zoe, this one right here, Holly,
inserting herself
in every video. Totally fine. No, literally, I was looking at all the videos and I was like, nope, you're still in every single video. Like,
keeping the streak alive.
Yeah, so it's fine. It's fine. Just Zoe with sprinkle of Holly. Holly's information will be linked down below. So give her a follow. Hit her subscribe
more
button.
of this?
She's like so close to 1,000, y'all. Like, help us sister out. Help us sister out. So today is the reading recap for March. So the first book we read is Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. Okay.
There was a lot of blood.
A lot. Okay, actually, I have strong opinions about this book.
Really?
It's like, okay.
Spoilers? Spoiler alert?
No,
Okay.
not a spoiler alert. I'll preface before I say a spoiler if I do. My biggest issue is the world building. And it's not that it's bad world building, it's very detailed, very complex, and a lot of it.
You just can only take so much at once. Like, normally I feel like you and I both can read a book like this in like a week, sometimes less. And we spent like 3 weeks reading this book.
No, definitely.
Which, granted, both of us have been really busy, so we just haven't had as much time to dedicate to reading. But like, when we're really entranced in a book, like, we just somehow make the time.
Oh, yeah.
And this still took us a while to read. Like, I would say I probably didn't get like really into it until a little over halfway through. Like, probably like somewhere around like here is where I like felt like I really got into it. And then I read like the entire rest of it in like 2 sittings.
No, I was literally gonna say, I feel like once you get to part 4.
Oh yeah, after your part 4.
Once you get to
like,
part 4, the ravine.
just finish it.
Just finish it.
Just
Because
finish
like literally last night we read all like the whole afternoon to the
literally.
evening. We were just finishing the book. And I feel like that's like, okay. I don't want to sound mean. I don't want to sound mean because like the rest of it is really good. I'm not trying to say it's not good. I'm just like, the end of it is like so freaking good that I'm like, oh, I just want more of it.
But
you know
that's
what I mean?
the thing too, though, is that it's like you literally, the only reason that it's so good at the end is because of everything, all the background that you get that builds up to the end. So many twists and turns at the end, but like they're so twisty and turny because of everything that she lays out for you before that.
It's kind of insane how like some of her characters who end up being so like important to like the main thing are seen in the beginning or like the middle as like minute. Like they're just like, oh, this person's like meh. And then at the end it's like, nah, this person was needed because of this.
Yeah, like and it's I really appreciate the fact that like she is like very deliberate about everything that goes on the page. Like there is not one piece of information that you get, I feel like, that's not vital down the road.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's just like
that's
it's
so
really
true,
well
actually.
done. It's really well done. Like nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is just a little bit of tidbit extra. Like all of it's like information that you're like, oh shit, like from the beginning, and it's good.
It's really
well
kind of crazy because like I think Sarah does that with a lot of her books, and we were talking about this last night where we're so sure that she has like this giant timeline of the way she writes her books and what the story's gonna be, because there's things in other series where it's like she mentions it in like book 2 and it doesn't come back until book 5 and you're
like she has to have like I imagine like how they do the movies where they do like shot by shot with a description. Like that's how she has like this entire multiverse of her things. It's really fascinating.
Okay, so I have this book somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I'll just insert the covers here. The first book that I read was The Bodyguard, and I mentioned it in my last video that I was planning to read it, and I did, so pop off. On my Goodreads, I gave it a 4. No, I gave it a 3.
You liked it though, like...
Yeah, I basically was like saying I just didn't like the beginning. The beginning was like meh, And then the middle was like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the end was like, because it was like, okay, spoiler alert for anybody who's gonna read it. So like the beginning is like, you're learning about this girl, and it's so sad, and like her.
Isn't it told from first person as well?
Yeah, it's a girl who works for an agency as like a bodyguard. And her boyfriend in the agency ends up cheating on her with her best friend. So then it's like a downhill spiral. Her mom dies. She's like in depression. Like she like is real. Remember, because the boyfriend's like, you're a bad kisser. Is like his number.
I forgot about that.
And
I forgot about
like,
that.
You what? So anyway.
That's so harsh. Man.
Yeah, like harsh, but also like it takes two to tango, and also y'all been together for so long. I'm like,
you could have given her some pointers.
Yeah. Turns out she's not a bad kisser. We learned that later. It was the boy. The boy is just sorry. Never mind. So then the middle comes in, and we get to meet who she's gonna be bodyguarding, and it's like this celebrity, and like people are freaking out about him, and she's like not in it, whatever. But the reason she gets picked is because they want her to pretend to be his girlfriend because she's the little small bodyguard.
We love the fake dating trope.
We love a fake dating moment. I remember I got to the middle and I was like, oh, it's like this then, all right.
Yeah.
So there's a fake dating stuff, but like it ends up being that he goes to this farm because his mom is really sick, and so she's got to like.
Mommy's dying.
I don't know, but that's like one of the things they connect on, I guess. I don't know, but she's really like secretive about all of her life, whatever. So they go on this farm, and like the whole time they're on the farm, I really enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed all that like world life, whatever, like back and forth banter kind of thing. And then it just all of a sudden is over because there's a creepy stalker that like holds him up at gunpoint, and she saves the day and almost gets shot or does get shot. I don't really remember. And that like you know, and it just like jumps like it's like. And then this crazy event's gonna happen in 6 pages or less. Yeah. And then we're gonna say epilogue, and it's like done.
Yeah, I personally like kind of like the after epilogue or whatever. Like I just didn't like how you just jump forward and everything is like happy-go-lucky perfect. Because like that's not realistic.
No.
And also it's one of those things where I don't know, in my brain it's just better than what they can put on the page oftentimes. Like I'm okay with a happy ending and just like leaving it at that. Like I don't need the flash forward.
I didn't.
Them with their kids. Like a lot of times it's
I didn't
just
need it.
I don't know that it's ever like hit for me.
No, a lot of the times it's just forward. Like exactly what you
expect.
Yeah, it's like
and nothing
and
else.
Then they lived happily ever after with this kid, and so we're gonna give you a scene at the birthday party in the kitchen, and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's
and
just
like
not
okay, cool, but like
hit.
I'm fine without it.
I read The Attic on Queen Street, which I no longer have the book jacket for because I'm a heathen. This is the last book actually in this series by Karen White, which is really funny, but it stood alone just fine. The only thing I had an issue with is that like there was some callbacks to an event, and she does kind of explain it, kind of like any author does, like in a sequel, like recapping it. It's a standalone story, but there's like things that obviously happened in the other books that like led to where the characters are at this point. Yeah. And I mean, overall, I liked it. The ending was really good. Like, it's a good, like, thriller, twisty-turny. It's about ghosts, which is right up my alley. The only thing is that it took me, like, an unbelievably amount of long time to read, which I don't know if it's just because it is a bigger book with, like physically taller, like, bigger book.
It's a weird-sized book.
Smaller text. I don't know, but, like, I just felt like it took me ages to get through. And I think it's also because, like, I probably wasn't really enthralled until I was, like, 3/4 of the way in. So it was one of those things where
it's you were reading that for a minute. Because you were still reading it at Cabin Weekend.
It took me, like, 2 weeks to read.
Yeah.
Which is, for this size book, I mean, normally I can get through something like this in, like, a few days, maybe a week. And, I don't know. It just didn't, like, grab me. It just didn't grab me the way like other books do, but like it was good. I feel like it would have been better if I'd read the other books, but this is the 7th, and I wouldn't no offense, Karen White, I wouldn't endure 7 books of this.
It's funny because I did the same thing as you.
Really?
Do you remember I was like, oh, Ignite. I read Ignite, and then it's like number 6 in the series.
So
yeah.
I mean, I would recommend if you really like ghost stories, but if that's not really your thing.
You said the turn at the end was like good though.
Yeah. The ending was really good. I read the last like quarter of it, like the plot to whatever. plot, the climax down, I read all of that within like a day or two.
Yeah.
Like it was really good at that point. But up until then, it was just a lot of like,
why am I here?
it felt like the story didn't move along, even though it was moving along. It just didn't. It didn't feel like I was progressing in the story that much, or progressing in like uncovering the big thing that you find out.
Yeah.
If that makes
At
sense.
least Crescent City feels like you're progressing, even though it's a lot of information.
Yeah, like I want the book to be like, oh, I think I know who it is, and then be like, oh shit, it's not that person. Oh, I think I know who it is. Oh, never mind. Because like that's how I feel like you just keep going. That's how like you keep interest, is like trying to figure out who done it type situation.
Is that the last one? Do you know?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, maybe that was it. Maybe she was at that final like.
Yeah, this is
push.
the last one in this series, but she's doing a spin-off series about the daughter in this book, because the daughter moves to New Orleans apparently, and so now she's going to do a whole series following the daughter in New Orleans.
Okay. We're actually pretty aggressive about our ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give a 5 unless it's like, I will reread this multiple times, life-changing, absolutely enthralled, read it in less than a day. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, Crescent City, I would probably give a 4.5 or a 5, because I really enjoyed it once I enjoyed it. It just, like, took me a while to get there.
I have a feeling Crescent City is going to be a lot like C.H.A.P.T.E.R.S, where the first one is, like, kind of really good.
Yeah.
And then, like, it just gets better. And then it gets
so much better after. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, I'll go through the rest of the ones that I read this month, and then we can do our up next. Oh, okay, so I'll go with Ignite. So Ignite was the same one. I did the same thing. It was number 6 in this, like, Cloverfield something series. I gave it like a 3, I think. It was one of those cute filler romance ones. It's called Ignite because it's about a firefighter.
He ignited my soul.
It's like a single dad and 2 daughters move in next door to this girl who's pretty young for him, but they like have a thing for each other, but she's also like really good with the kids, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute little sum. It's like a really good filler. I don't really feel like there's any spoilers because it's like, it's very like straightforward.
It's generic. It's like you know exactly how it's gonna end, and that's fine sometimes. Sometimes the meat in the middle.
It did confuse me for 1 second towards like we were like 10 pages from the end, and I was like, are they not gonna actually get together? I was like, huh?
Plot twist.
But no, they did, and I think that it's like all of the friends that they mentioned that he has are the other books potentially, or like the friends, and then like his sister's husband maybe is his book. I can't really tell because they had a lot of like odes to the other books or like situations that had happened, and I was like, huh? And then I was like, oh, I go on Goodreads to do the little rank,
and it's like number 6.
Yeah,
cool.
So, cool
for me.
So yeah, I basically gave it a 3. Another book I read was, let me pull it up and see what the heck I said about it real quick. Oh, okay, this book. Okay. You know it's not memorable when I have to go reread the little paragraph about what the book's about. But this is called Wicked is the Reaper. I think I read it during Cabin Weekend.
Yeah, you
did. I like read through the whole thing. It's like very short story, nothing crazy. This is basically called, okay. So it's like medieval kind of times, I would say, and basically like there's this tradition at the castle where the princess gets betrothed to whoever can go out on the hunt and bring back the biggest stag. And so like her family has basically like, they know that it's going to be this one guy in the village who basically is just like perfect at hunting, like whatever.
Yeah. And
so they go through the hunt, guy comes back, brings back this big old stag, but then the Reaper, he was like this like, you know, kind of fairy tale guy who lives in the forest and eats little girls apparently, comes out of the forest with a bigger stag. And basically is like, no, I get the princess. And there's no law against it, so he literally takes the princess and leaves. And so the whole time he's like, I was like, where are you waving to?
Princess.
So like the whole time she gets like locked in a dog cage basically. Like he doesn't like give a shit about her. Like her sole purpose is to basically trap the real Reaper, because everybody thinks that he's the Reaper, but really there's an even worse creature out there. He's just an old fae person who's kind of trapped there from like a spell. Kind of like Amarantha traps Tamlin, like that. Imagine that, and he wears a mask too. It's kind of crazy, actually. Now that I say that out,
it's literally.
But he can take his mask off. Like he just wears it like to give people the idea that he is the Reaper,
He's
I guess.
super handsome underneath.
Oh, he is super handsome underneath. Don't you fret. He's got bulging muscles.
Of course.
So yeah, he like attempts to like get her trapped by this actual Reaper. Basically, he like has to do that to get the heart of a troll, but he doesn't want to do it because like that's the only thing that gets him out of the like spell and can release him from the house. Whatever. Anyway, they fall in love.
Of course.
Like anyone would. Being locked in a cage.
Talk about freaking Stockholm syndrome.
I will say, he lets her out of the cage eventually and like attaches her, like handcuffs her to the bed, and like they sleep like separately. And then something happens where she's like has like hypothermia or something,
So they
and
have to share
they
a bed.
they lay on the floor by the fire together, and like they don't do anything, but like they can feel each other's bodies, you know. And then the next day he like leaves and gets her all her like warm clothes, and then basically he like lets her go one day, but she doesn't want to go at that point, and then it's like clear that like she also like likes him. It's very, very stupid. And she doesn't go back to being a princess.
Good for
And her boy that she was in love with at the castle ends up marrying her sister. Yeah. Anyway, that was a really long explanation of that weird ass book. But
that was a lot.
Oh god. The last book that I read. This is The Vampire Queen.
I just remember sitting and getting the commentary of Zoe reading this book secondhand.
Oh, y'all. Okay. It's technically 3 books in one, but I would say I just count it as one book because it's like a thicker book, but like, y'all, this is a fair warning to anyone who wants to read The Vampire Queen.
Just keep going until it's...
Basically, whatever you think smut is, I want you to multiply that by 3,000. And then if you are uncomfortable with anything that's not normal 1-on-1 time, or 2-on-2 time, or 3-on-3 time, it's not for you. It's really not for you. If you're not into shape shifting while in the middle of intercourse, it's not for you. Or okay, no, literally so much bro, okay, so if you were to get bit by a vampire, you'd be like, that shit hurt, right?
Yeah.
But no, if they're like a special vampire, like royalty vampire, that shit brings you pleasure. So I'm not kidding, y'all. Page 3 of this book, she gets bit walking in this man's house, and immediately, basically, they're having sex.
Love that for her.
Like, this book is literally nothing. There is no plot. Like, okay, there is a plot. But it's like, for every 40 pages...
For every, like, 40th layer of smut, you get plot.
Yeah. For every 40 pages, you get 1 page of plot.
Yeah.
And it might actually be in the middle of intercourse with 16,000 people. And you just need to, like, put that little pocket of information away so you can have it for later.
Yeah. That's a lot. It was a lot. I just remember her, like, being like... She would just read, and I would be in the next room, and she'd be like, oh? And then she'd be like, oh?
And
what?
I'd be like, no. There were literally chunks of that book I skipped because I genuinely was so uncomfortable.
She was like, I don't.
Like, it's just not for me.
Not
like,
for everybody. That's fine.
Yeah. I just wish there would have been like a warning on it to be like,
right.
This is the trope you're in. So like, if you're not in that, don't read it.
Don't do it.
So I learned my lesson. We definitely should read like some reviews before I just buy a book from Target for 40% off.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I don't even know what I was about to say at the end of that last part, so we're just gonna...
You were gonna rank it on what you put on Goodreads.
Oh. I probably gave it a freaking 1 and would have loved to have given it a -1.
Excuse the drinkiness.
It's totally fine. We're readjusting. No, I definitely would have given it a -1 if I could have, but I gave it a 1, so... Okay.
Tea.
Okay, so next up is what we're reading next, which I'm sure you guys guessed it.
Oh, I don't have mine. It's upstairs.
What the heck? Okay. This is what we're reading next. It's the second to Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath. I've already read into it.
I just need everyone to know Zoe reads so motherfucking fast.
Not on everything.
It is truly like otherworldly. She's an alien. Literally, I was like 100 pages ahead of her yesterday when we were reading Earth and Blood. And like she's just like casually reading downstairs, and then all of a sudden she says something and she's ahead of me. And I'm like, I literally was like,
what if you just read really slow?
I will read, like, this is how I read it. I held my breath, waiting for him to share his new project with me, just like old times. Like, I read in like how you would hear it in an audiobook. I swear, this is how Zoe reads. I held my breath, waiting for him to share his new project with me, just like old times. Instead, he said, you and I are married. I don't know how she absorbs the information. It should have me rolling, bro, because I'm like, I don't know how she reads so fast. For example, she's on chapter 12. I'm on chapter 2.
No!
And we both started it last night. Granted, I think she stayed up later than me reading, but still, it's...
I read like this. Sophie had survived in the Kabbalah death camps for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and still the guards, dread wolves, all of them, had not sniffed her out.
That's
Everything
already
was
making
gone
my
according
brain
to
hurt.
plan.
You can tell that's faster than mine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, tonight.
Yeah. I listen
Sophie
to the
does not
comments.
mind letting
I
the
really
middle
take
of
the
the
comments to
monster
heart. I'm like...
I think when I
And
get
then-
into certain parts of it, I will be like that, but then other parts, I'm like, I do not have time.
I noticed that I read faster when the plot is moving forward
Yes,
faster. Like when
that's
like
true.
action scenes are happening, I'm like, like...
Oh, what I was going to say is with Crescent City, I had already read the first one before, so it was a lot easier for me to read, but like with some of the books, like fantasy-wise, I read slower because words are more like...
It's hard, especially with the names.
Yeah, so...
You gotta read the name 8 times to figure out how you want to pronounce it in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
want to hear something really funny?
What?
When I first heard you say Lehaba's name.
Leheba? Yeah.
Yeah, I physically, that's how I tried to pronounce it in my brain. Same with Danica. Like, sometimes while I'm reading a book, I just have to do whatever my brain wants me to, or else I'll get tripped up on the name every time. So, like, I just have to read it as Danica because that's how my brain wants me to. Lehaba? Lieba. That's the only way.
That's not even the order of the letters.
There's not even a Y in it. So.
Interesting.
What? We're filming. Yes.
He looks so sad.
Yeah. So embarrassing. Oh my god. Can you please edit that out?
Okay. Go. What are you reading next?
Okay, next I'm reading Witch Please by Anne Aguirre. And, bro. Her name is also freaking Danica, but with a C. Anyways.
Yeah, sorry.
It's about...
yeah, we got 3 minutes.
Danica Waterhouse is a fully modern witch. I'm gonna just read like Zoe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is actually technically a series. I think this is the first one, but it looks like an easy read, so I'm actually gonna read it as a single in between Crescent City and the next series that is on the docket for me. So, Witch Please, I'll let you guys know how it is.
We picked that book out at the bookstore by her closing her eyes and running in a circle and me telling her to stop.
Because like I couldn't make a decision because I'm an incisive.
Okay, next up on my to be read is Throne of Glass, but I genuinely need a break because I know I'm gonna finish Crescent City and then I'm gonna take a break book and then I'm gonna go to Throne of Glass. I've already read the first Throne of Glass and I pretty much remember everything that happened. So I'm moving on to Crown of Midnight. Yeah. So we're gonna keep talking to good old Sardothian. Selena Sardothian. That's her name. Yeah. The names in this book make me want to cry.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, I'm excited to read it. I just need to mentally prepare myself before entering another universe.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
So,
next up for me, I'm reading the Witcher series. I wanted to read these, well, not for that long, to be honest. I also broke the freaking thing, which is sad.
It's probably from when it fell off that box.
Yeah, it's definitely from that. My cats broke it, not me. But I'm gonna read the entire Witcher series. Obviously watched the TV show and it made me want to read the books. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I can't wait. It's like 5 stories, and then 3. I think all of the ones that are not numbered are like a collection of short stories. And I will say that they are so wrong for this. They put the freaking fake sticker that says now on Netflix on every single one of these and you can't get it off because it's printed on there. It's not a sticker. And I'm pissed because I hate them. And I was like, oh, that sucks that it's on it, thinking it was on the first one. No, it's on every single one of them. So
They're wrong for that.
so wrong for that, bro.
So, okay, so I'm gonna be drawing a book from the jar of the books that I wrapped for my two favorite.
Yes.
That is so, it's weird to explain that.
Yeah. Reference wherever you want to put it.
Reference this
The
video. Yeah. Basically, I went upstairs, just drew this book. So, this entire bottom shelf is books I didn't wrap because I found them after I had already wrapped all of these ones.
Love that.
Haven't read those either. Anyway,
Love that.
Let's find the jar.
I only read through the prologue in chapter 1. I didn't read far at all.
Chapter 12.
Yeah.
I was up. I was just awake.
Yeah.
Okay. Please don't pick a series. Please don't pick a series.
It wouldn't be bad if it was like a 2-book series. But we ain't doing 7 books right now.
Bitch. It's a book I don't even have because it's a part of a series.
Okay, pick a different one then.
Okay.
Pick a different one then.
It's that Crave series.
Oh, you know what's funny? I was like, it's gonna be really funny if you pick Crave because like that has a lot of books and they're not small books.
No, that's literally, I was literally like, no. Picks the next number in Crave. Oh, 19. Okay. This is a very small book. Should
That's
I
good
open
though.
it?
Yeah, you should. Let us know what it is. What's
It's
up?
it's definitely a paperback. How much is clear?
I dare you to guess which book it is. Like from your knowledge, do your best to guess which book it is.
I look crazy. I genuinely have no idea what the heck I've wrapped. You know what this could be? This could be, what's that green book? The butterfly book? Oh.
Not the butterfly effect.
Oh my god, no. It's the one about the sisters. Oh my gosh, it's a green book with a jar and the...
Well, we'll see.
Let me just see the color. And then maybe I'll...
No, that's such cheating.
It's just so thin that I'm like, when do I ever
When do I
thin
buy?
books?
Yeah.
This is gonna be like...
It's gonna be like one of those like little romances.
Oh, it is. It's definitely a romance book.
Yeah. Oh, it's the one you already read half of.
Oh my god! That's so funny. Yeah. I
Go way
know.
over.
Yeah, there's a random ass bookmark in here.
Yep.
Okay. It's okay, because that's just a sign. Finish the book.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
no biggie. Yeah. And that
alright.
will literally take you a second. Like if you're already on chapter 12 of Sky and Breath, you might as well take both of them to the beach
Oh, take them
because
both
you
to
might
the beach.
finish Sky and Breath and then you can read that and you'll probably be done with both of those before you get back.
If you watched the last video, you would know I've already started this book before.
You read like over half of it, maybe.
I really want to know if I actually...
Oh, there it is.
I want to know if I actually did, or if like I just shoved this in here,
Oh.
like just like casual.
I'm sure once you start reading, you'll
Yeah.
figure out how much you feel like you read or not.
Yeah. But this is basically about a retiring flight attendant who gets like rerouted because of mechanical problems. They have to like land in Belize, and like her crush of a pilot's on the plane with her. So it's like literally so thin. It's gonna be a great filler book.
Yeah.
And I may even draw another one depending on how much break I need between Crescent City and Throne of Glass. Because
Yeah.
I already know Crescent City number 2
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah, and you need like, you really do need the mental break from such like the crazy world and universe that you're in.
Mhm.
Like that's why I'm gonna read this, because The Witcher is also very like a lot of world building, different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I need something that's just like in our world.
Yeah.
It's easy to understand.
Just
in
need some
between.
real casual. And I always go on Kindle Unlimited too because I have it. And I always read like Ignites from there.
Yeah.
Like just random
Something
books.
quick
Like,
and easy.
and it's easy because it's on my phone. So like when I'm at freaking allergy shots or whatever, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
So, Alright, well, that's everything, I reckon. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below and follow Holly on all of her channel, social media, everything. That's gonna be linked down below. Help her get to 1,000. Help her get to 1,000. So annoying. But okay, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.